Okay. Guys, it's been a while. It's been a while since I did these reading challenges, reading vlogs kind of a video. The first one that I did was the Emily Henry reading vlog, where I read five Emily Henry books in a week, and I absolutely loved it. I enjoyed it so much. It was more than a month ago. That was my first YouTube video that I ever uploaded, and I feel like I thoroughly enjoyed making that video because I'm my most unhinged self. I am raw and I'm sharing my most honest and raw emotions at that moment. As soon as I'm closing the chapters, as soon as I'm reading them, I do enjoy doing my sit down videos as well, where I do either monthly wrap ups or my best reads, my top five, reading authors backlist, and picking up my worst and best reads. While I love those, I also want to do some reading challenges, reading vlogs kind of video where I can sit comfortably. I mean, I'm comfortable anywhere, but I'm more comfortable like just being my most balanced self. So this is where it leads to. I am doing another reading vlog. But you already know which video I'm doing. It's already been uploaded and you've already read the title. So, yes, I am doing an Uketsu reading vlog. If you guys don't know who Uketsu is a Japanese YouTuber. He's quite famous on YouTube, and he does these skit-like mystery thriller with a dash of horror kind of videos on YouTube. Uketsu came out with three books. I mean, they're not recent ones. I think he's published the first one in 2021. So he came out with three books: Strange Houses, Strange Pictures, and Strange Buildings. And I'm gonna read all three of them. Here they are. Ugh. You know what attracted me so much about these books? It was the cover. Just like everyone else, the cover attracted me. Look at the cover. Like, if this is in a bookstore, you're gonna go straight to this one. If you're in the mystery thriller section, you're gonna pick this book up just because it's, I mean, kudos to the illustrator, the cover artist, because this is amazing. Honestly, I haven't read the summary. I don't know what this book is about. I don't know what any of those books are about. And I have a hunch. I just swiftly went through the pages, and then there are a lot of illustrations, there are a lot of pictures in here. And I think that's how Uketsu also does in his videos. Like, he has floor plans of these strange houses, and then he's trying to decipher what's wrong with them. So I think the same kind of storyline is going to go within these books as well, where this would be about houses, and then you'll have like strange pictures, and then strange buildings. I'm not going to do a challenge. Like, I know that these are pretty short reads, and probably I'll be able to finish them within a week. But I'm not going to challenge. I'm not going to take that challenge. I'm just going to enjoy, do the reading vlog, and take you on a journey with me. However, since I do love a challenge, I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to go chapter by chapter and see if Trisha, me, the greatest detective in the world after Hercule Poirot and Sherlock Holmes, can decipher these clues that he has put in these books. I hope I can. Let's start our journey with these strange books. I was just doing my skincare, and guys, I finished 50% of it. I haven't finished the book. I finished 50% of it. I'm 100 pages through, and Oh my God, how captivating this book is. Wow. Like, I don't even know how long I've been reading this book for. Maybe a couple of hours, because even though I've read only 100 pages, every single page is very engaging. Like, you have these floor plans and then this conspiracy behind it, and you have to figure out what is iffy about the floor plans to these houses. I will tell you that initially starting the book, they do provide with these two ground level and next the first floor plans, and I I'm so bad at it. I could not find anything weird other than there was this one room where there were no windows. Other than that, I was like, seems like a normal house. But as the characters try to decipher what's wrong with this floor plan, apparently everything is like every single room is weird. Every single room, it's either they don't have any windows or they seem like it's a bunker, so it's very, very, very suspicious, and I couldn't decipher it. I guess I'm not that good of a detective, but it's very engaging. I like the idea of this being really interactive. This is a very different genre of book. I would call this a mystery. It's not really like this deep thriller. There's Uketsu mentioned as an author, and then there is an architect, Kurihara, and they both are kind of um, combining their forces and trying to decipher what's up with the strange house, because one of their friends, they want to buy this house and they get the floor plan. But when Oketsu and the architect looks at this floor plan, little by little they find things that are just doesn't make sense. And apparently every single room was built weirdly, and yeah, only an architect could decipher, right? So they did that, and then the story takes a really bizarre turn. The Kurihara architect, I don't know why he's an architect, might as well be a really great detective, because he can pick things really quickly. He sensed that there was something wrong with the house, and he came up with this really crazy conspiracy theory. When I read it, my jaw was on the floor. Like, how did we come to this? When he makes this assumption, it starts the ball rolling with the story, and then we move on to then chapter 2, where there are additional characters that are introduced in this, and then there are more revelations that happened, and then Uketsu and the architect, they all try to find more clues around the house. They try to find like who the owners were, what was the story behind them. Chapter 1 revolved around the first floor plan that is in the Tokyo house, and then in chapter 2 there are additional characters that have come up. There is another floor plan introduced, which is like the older house of the original owners, whose house was in the Tokyo, the first strange house. Their floor plan also comes into picture, and then they start to decipher that as well, and find a lot of weird things about it as well. In the end of chapter 2, something really fishy has been happening. I mean, I need to go to bed, but I am so intrigued. Like, I'm itching to finish this book. Maybe I will read, I'll probably read like another chapter, and then I'll come back tomorrow. Let's see what happens. Let's see if Uketsu and Kurihara can solve this mystery. Kurihara could be a detective, I'm telling you. All right. Let's It's been one of those days. There was a lot going on in these past 2 days, and it was getting very chaotic over here. I had too many errands to work on. So I did end up finishing Strange Houses. However, I didn't get any time to film. So it is what it is. This is not the kind of book that I can listen on an audiobook and be done with it. If I were to listen in an audiobook, if I was going to listen in my just wash my hands. Anyway, I would have finished the second book as well, but I just, it was getting too chaotic and I didn't want to overwhelm myself. Majority of the book is a lot of interview style text or prose that are in here, like when the author, like for example over here, like the author is, excuse my nails, but when the author is talking to the architect, so it's just a dialogue after dialogue, and then you have these floor plans, these blueprints in the middle, which really accelerates the reading speed, because if this were to be like a paragraph after paragraph of conversations, it would have taken a little bit of time. But this, in my personal opinion, I think this is pretty interactive. You refer to the flow plans and then you go just very clearly read what the conversation is about. So I think that made me read it faster than I would usually read other books. So the last time I spoke with you guys were when I finished the second chapter, and that ended on a cliffhanger. And at the beginning of the third chapter, we went back to the Katobushi's ancestral house, like their grandparents' house. And guess what? That house had some secrets as well. So there was a secret room in that ancestral house as well. So there was something secretive that was happening as well. And also, something tragic happened in that house as well. So it just raises a lot of red flags for both Kurihara and Uketsu, thinking that all these houses that we have so far inspected, they all have a secret architecture, secret room hidden somewhere. And it's a very weird architecture that not a normal person would ever build. It's a little weird, like, because they are solving these murders or these mishaps just on assumption. There's no police involved, there's no law behind, like, it's just on assumptions, and the basis of that assumption is the architecture, the blueprint, the floor plan of the houses, of all these three houses. Honestly, this one, when I was reading this felt like this one Agatha Christie book, The Mysterious Affairs at the Styles. That one also has a floor plan, but again, Hercule Poirot was a detective and he goes and stays there, and the murder happens, and they also like refer to the blueprints, and in the book also there's a blueprint. So it gave me a lot of feels of Mysterious Affair at the Styles. I thought that was interesting. Also, I was thinking, now who would build these kind of things? And then I wondered, hey Trisha, you've always wanted a secret room in your house for the longest time since I was a child. And yeah, I mean, it's not, I guess it's not that weird. It gets very dark at the end. Like, the flashback was pretty gory, and people and their motivations were very dark, very ritualistic. And I kind of understood why they would do that. But still, I was like, why would anyone build a house just to do these things? It all kind of combined the story pretty well. I don't think there was anything that was off kilter. I think it went seamlessly fine. It was a nice goose chase that these three folks went into. So yeah, I mean, I do like open-ended things, so it just kept it open-ended. Now I'm wondering if this would be related to the next book that I'm going to read, which is Strange Pictures. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna read now and then see if there is any Easter eggs or any relation. My second book, Strange Pictures. I think, again, I mean, no brainer, these are gonna have some strange pictures. Wow. Okay, I think I need to speak something. Wow. I am 56 pages in, literally flew by. And I did a few other things, but oh my god, I read the prologue and the first chapter. My mind is blown. How can you show something that simple, just a very simple, innocent picture, and make it dark? Uketsu. Okay, so the prologue starts with this really innocent picture that a child drew, and this has been shown in a university where there's this professor, Mr. Tomiko, not Mr., sorry, Dr. Tomiko Hagio, and he is discussing this with his university students. He wants the students to decipher the picture. The picture is this. Okay, like fairly innocent picture, but there's something special about it. Yes, there are some hidden things in there. Write down in the comment if you can decipher some of these weird things that are happening. Honestly, when I saw it, I couldn't, apart from this one thing, I couldn't really decipher much. But then there is something special. Other than there's hidden clues in there, the child who drew this picture, she is accused and is arrested for the murder of her mom. So initially, the students are like, nothing really seems to be that weird. There's nothing wrong with that picture. But Dr. Hagio then shares these little tidbits and he uncovers what is weird about them. Then you have chapter one, and chapter one is The Woman in the Wind. Now, this is where it gets interesting because our Mr. Kurihara, do you remember the architect Kurihara who was deciphering the strange houses with Uketsu? Now he's back, and he used to be in this paranormal club when he was younger in his university. And there was another guy who was in the same club as him. His name is Sasaki. So Sasaki and Kurihara used to be in a paranormal club, and they get to talking, and Sasaki is like, I want to be intrigued. I want to do something fun. So Kurihara is like, okay, there's this blog, and I want you to read it. I just go through it and tell me if there's something weird about it. So this blog is written by this guy named Raku. Raku is documenting his daily activities in this blog. So initially it starts off very like mundane, normal things that happens in everyone's life. So Kurihara asks Sasaki to decipher his last blog, and his last blog was like a year and a half ago. It was written a year and a half ago. I'm gonna stop updating this blog today, and I finally figured out the secret of those three drawings. And so that intrigues Sasaki. And so Sasaki starts to go back to the older vlogs that Raku wrote. There are like little tidbits about his life, his daily life, like every mundane things that he does every day. Then he starts talking about this, that he got married. He has a wife named Yuki, and then they celebrate their first anniversary, and then she gets pregnant. And then he shares that there's something wrong with the pregnancy, like she's having really bad mood swings, and she's not really feeling well. I mean, as she's like far along in the pregnancy, her baby has been breached, and so they're going through a lot of stuff. As she's coming closer to her pregnancy, of course, Yuki's not really feeling well. She's scared. She's having her mood swings. She's having real health problems, and what she does is she starts drawing these pictures and then she shares them with Raku, who then uploads it in the blog. So now Raku stops updating the blog altogether, and then after some time, he just shares that Yuki has passed away, the baby is born, but Yuki is now in a better place. Okay, editing Trisha here. I am not laughing this hard because Yuta just passed away. No, it's because my mom was sharing this a really crazy joke and I was laughing so hard that I lost my train of thought. And I obviously forgot to conclude what I was saying, but it's coming up in the future, so please don't mind. Yeah, that's how my attention span works, I guess. I overslept, and But I did end up reading the second chapter of my book. And where is the freaking book? It's here. This way, I'm halfway through. I'm like exactly halfway through. Now, this story follows a 6-year-old child named Yuta. His father, Haruto, has passed away, I think, a year or like 3 years ago. So the story goes like this. Yuta's teachers, they find one of the drawings that Yuta has drawn a bit weird, a bit suspicious. So his teachers take this drawing and shows it to Yuta's mom. And I think I showed it to you yesterday as well. And there's Yuta and apparently his mom. His mother, she's Naomi. She gets a little suspicious, and so does the teacher. So there's another teacher who does a little more digging into the drawing, and she's an expert, so she could decipher what this particular drawing would mean. Then obviously at the end there is again another cliffhanger. Something happens to Yuta, and then something about Yuta's life is revealed by Naomi, and it's suspicious. What I'm interested is to know how the first and the second story tie here, and yeah, we'll see. I have to run a lot of errands today, and I may end up finishing the book. Wow, my mind is getting blown into bits. What is this thing? Now, this particular chapter, this is really interesting. I think this is the biggest chapter in this entire book, and I can confidently say it's the most interesting one. Now, there is another story happening, third story, about this teacher Miura, and he's a drawing teacher in a school, and he's very passionate about it. He has really loving students who just love his class. Mr. Miura is also passionate about hiking, so over the weekend he usually goes up to the nearby mountain, and he either hikes by himself or sometimes he has company. But this time he hiked all by himself. Now we get to find out that Mr. Miura had been murdered, allegedly. His body was found near the trek site, like it was very close to a subway. So there was this person who found the body and he alerted the police. And now, this time, luckily, the police gets involved. You find clues after clues, and you kind of, it's like a puzzle. Like, you don't give up. You have to find what is wrong with this murder or with this house, with this pictures. Now, the reporter is really smart. He's observing things that no one else has done. But I will say one thing: the murderer, hats off to you. What an intelligent murder. Like, the way the murderer has planned and plotted the murder, no one with an average IQ would solve this. But I guess that's what I am. All right, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to eat. I'm going to chill. And I'm going to finish this book. And I will come back when I have a different book in hand. And that would be Strange Buildings. I really enjoyed reading this book. This was a little bit thicker than the first one. However, this read so fast because the story was really intriguing. Like, I think this one stepped up. I like the fact that they were all about pictures because it's more realistic, and you can easily see or interpret, psychoanalyze if there's something wrong in a painting or in a drawing or in a picture.
That's what you do with art. You try to interpret it. So a lot of folks try to interpret these drawings, and each of these drawings are very different. Like I shared in chapter 1, the wife made these little drawings where she was trying to hint her husband about something that happened with her. And then in the second one, it was just a child who drew something out of fear, out of like really extreme emotional outbursts. Then in the third one, there's, which one was it? Yeah, the third one was really interesting because that drawing, that picture gave me nothing. It felt like someone drew it with the left hand, but there was so much meaning to it. And I like the fact that the reporter, the cops, they tried to decipher it, and yes, they were assuming it, but it made sense because this entire book is all about it. You are trying to crack the case open. You're trying to solve the murder just using these pictures, these drawings as reference. And of course, in the last one, we come back to the prologue picture, and then it revealed so much about what I've been reading for the past 3 chapters. And yeah, I would say this really had a very cohesive, nice ending, start, middle, end. It was amazing. And I made a couple of references. This book made me think about The Mysterious Affairs at Styles. Then this book made me think about House of Leaves. But there was this one book that I was thinking about the entire time. It was Hidden Pictures. Jaldi kar bhai. Okay. I lost my train of thought and I hate it. I hate that. Where was I? I've been saying that there are a couple of books that reminds me of this book, but Hidden Pictures and Strange Pictures are alike. Just take out the horror ambiance from the Hidden Pictures book, and that's exactly, in that one, I think that particular book is very much like chapter 2 of this book, where people are trying to interpret child's drawings. Anyway, good Strange Pictures, and then we have Strange Buildings. Magic. Okay, Strange Buildings. This is a new release. I do know that this is a new release. Wow. The Banksy of Japanese fiction. I do think this is unlike any other books that I have read. So I'm going to read the third and last book, and I will share my final thoughts about it. It's been a long time. Okay, I don't even remember when was the last time when I spoke to you all, because I took a break. Not because of the book. I just have to say that. It's not because of the book. It's just I had to do a lot of things. I had a lot of chores. I was traveling, so I did read this book in between, but I couldn't film it, and there were too many people around me for me to then just pretend to read. I don't want to do that. I think this would be a perfect book to take. Yeah, don't look at my nails because it's so bad. Because this book has a lot of different chapters. They have like shorter chapters. I wouldn't call them chapters. These are files. They're really eerie case files. And then there's always something strange happening that's related to a house, a building. Uketsu has come back again, and we have interview style writing and the storyline with either like the main person about whom the story is about in each of these case files, and they're doing an interview with Uketsu where he's trying to figure out what's wrong with this certain house that they've brought up the blueprint of. Uketsu is trying to solve these little mysteries that are inside these case files. I like that this was really open ended. Uketsu really doesn't solve a case after the. I'm just talking about these case files right now. There's another section altogether at the end. So in this case files, the ending doesn't resolve. Like there is no solution to it. It's just something eerie, something weird that's happened. Someone has died in the house. Someone has been allegedly murdered in the house, and they are sharing their blueprints of the house with Uketsu, and he's trying to decipher if something really weird has happened in the house or it's just usual, like a bad floor plan. He could not come to a conclusion. He couldn't come to a satisfactory answer. So yeah, that's all about. Like these are different case files. Just that's all it is. As I went deeper into the chapters, things just started getting darker and darker, just like all the other two books. And soon I realized that this isn't just about buildings, floor plans, and something weird happening. It's about people. It's about people, their trauma, their secrets, and this quiet horror that sits under, like, in everyday life, like in people's lives. I think this book packs a lot of little stories, which might be good, like for me when I was traveling and stuff. But if I'm reading in this just one sitting, there are a lot of characters. I just could not remember everyone's names. And then there are a lot of storylines, a lot of different timelines. So if you want to catch up to that, it gets a little confusing sometimes. For people who are into emotional reading, who have read the first two books, like Strange Houses, even Strange Pictures, it has one continuous storyline, and then it also has some emotional quotient. Like I very clearly remember Hidden Pictures. No, it's a Stranger Pictures. In Strange Pictures, the grandma story, like how she was. Oh, I can't give spoilers, can I? Grandma stories. Like I really connected with that, with how it tied with all the four stories. I really like the grandma story in Strange Pictures, and I think there was a huge emotional pull that I felt while reading it as well. Like her story was both sad and tragic, and yeah. But I couldn't say that about this book. Like this book felt like we're solving one puzzle at a time, and sometimes not even solving that. So this felt like for someone who's into quick problem solving, but not really looking for a cohesive story with like an emotional background, that wouldn't be for you guys. But I do like how ambitious this book was. I definitely think this was a step up from the other two books, and this is a little thicker, on the thicker side as well. And it does try to tie everything together in this bigger and more disturbing beneath the surface. Yeah. Okay, one thing I realized, I don't know if I said that at the beginning of this video or not. I thought that I was going to crack it. Yeah, I thought I have been reading Agatha Christie. I've been reading all these thriller books, all these murder mysteries. So I thought I was pretty good. And looking at the cover, I thought, it's going to be pretty childish. It's I can easily. It's like a puzzle, and I'm smart, and I'm gonna just solve the puzzle. I could not even solve one puzzle, guys. I'm looking at the floor plan and I'm thinking everything seems good. I mean, I don't see anything eerie. And then when they start conversing, there are a gazillion mistakes happening, and people, and I mean, of course, the narrator, okay, so everyone, the architect, they're looking at the picture and then they're thinking, oh yeah, there's something wrong with this part of the house. I'm like, how? My brain, how? Yeah, this was definitely a success reading all these three books. However, a big fail for me to think and be this overconfident person thinking that I'm going to solve everything. Now, I gave Strange Houses 3 stars, and it was a quick read, and I think this and Strange Buildings, it had very similar vibes. But while reading, also I could really feel that Uketsu, the author, has stepped up from this book to this book. So congratulations! I mean, that was a really commendable job coming from this to this, and I think this is awesome. Like the idea is so new and fresh. It's
a puzzle style book, I mean, come on, everyone's going to be gravitated towards this. And the cover, wow. And Strange Pictures, I gave this 4 stars. Again, like I said before, the emotional part of it, this story somehow is ingrained in my brain. I keep thinking about the story every now and then. This spoke to me the most. Strange Buildings, I gave this a 3 stars. I mean, I've already said it. Out of all the three, Strange Pictures was my favorite. This, for all the reasons that I mentioned before, I think 3.5 is a pretty good rating for this book. So yeah, this was my experience reading Uketsu's Strange Buildings, Strange Pictures, Strange Houses, all the Strange series, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I definitely think you should pick these up. If you're into riddles, if you're into murder mysteries, even if you're a thriller reader, this you would love these books. So that's it, guys. That was my experience reading 3 Uketsu books in yeah, this was not a reading challenge, okay? So I read it in maybe in a week, 2 weeks perhaps. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I shall see you soon.